All right, so TonyScapone here. We are live. Just give me a few minutes to get the word out here. Today we're going to be playing Black Saga Storm, a creation of my own actually, but we're going to get into it in just a few minutes. Give me a second to just get the word out here. All right, TonyScapone here, and today we're going to be playing Black Saga Storm, a creation that I actually made, not just myself. Of course, I had a lot of help from the community, but that's another story for another day. We'll get into it. The deck, what do we have here? We have, first and foremost, is a turbo Ad Nauseam deck. Our plan A is to cast, resolve, Ad Nauseam. We, of course, have a bunch of discard spells to clear the way to make sure that happens. Generally speaking, our mana value in total is very low for this deck, totaling, actually, only 36. So even at low life totals, we can win with this card pretty reliably. That's the idea, at least. And we do have a backup plan. Urza Saga fits so nicely in a deck like this. It does work towards our plan A, as it can get, of course, Lion's Eye Diamond. It can, you know, refuel if we're out of gas and just getting baubles, but it also itself is a win con, a very potent one at that. So when we're not going for the Ad Nauseam and the eventual Tendrils kill that is both in the main deck and sideboard through a Burning Wish, we will be beating our opponent up with constructs. So pretty sweet. Sideboard, of course, we have a few Burning Wish targets, and we'll get into that more as to why we're running this one lonesome Burning Wish, but it can get Peer into the Abyss, or it can kill the opponent. Sometimes it gets Echo, and sometimes it gets Feed the Swarm. However, it's a bit incidental that this can be gotten with Burning Wish. That is primarily to be brought in, and that's kind of what the rest of the sideboard is removal, right? Fatal Push, Feed the Swarm, Haywire Might, some Saga targets, and then some other Saga targets, Shadow Spear, Map, Surge Node to deal with Chalice of the Void, and we have some Surgicals to deal with some of the graveyard decks. So that's the deck, and we're going to get into a league. And while we're waiting for this match to start, I'm going to put a quick ad on here for Eminence Gaming, which is one of our sponsors, one of three. We got Eminence Gaming. Oh, geez. I'm like forgetting the sponsors, right? We have Eminence Gaming. I know we have... what the heck? Card Order. I was going to say, I'm like, I use them. I have a Card Order account myself. They're great. As well as Moxfield. That's the third. So Moxfield is a great place to be able to save your decks. It's similar to something like Stream Decker, except it's just a lot more capable. So these ads will kind of give you an idea as to what those are all about. And I do want to mention, of course, that I myself have a YouTube. I stream on Twitch. I have a YouTube. So check me out. TonyScapone, one word. Anywhere you want to find me, you'll probably find me there, whether it's Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube. Go check me out. So, after a quick word from our sponsor, we'll get into it.
The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting your own Magic events with features such as easy-to-create event registration for 4-player and one-on-one Swiss-based games. Event management has never been so simple, and it's done on the web. No downloads are required. You can sign up for $5 by visiting eminence.events/subscribe.
Okay, so this should be, sorry, let me get the chat box up here. Jordan, if you don't mind, I forgot to get the chat box up, and I forget where I can do that easily. If you don't mind just messaging me on Discord as to where I can find that, so that I can talk to y'all, because this is live, and there is chat that I will be able to see as soon as I can pull it up, but rather than kind of poke around aimlessly while you're watching here, maybe Jordan can do the work for me and send me a message. Harry1232 is our opponent. Excellent player. I've met this particular individual in person. Great dude, great player. Typically plays Maverick, which generally speaking is a good matchup for us. So we're going to battle here. This is looking like a potent turn one. Let me just... message. Okay, I got a message from Jordan helping me out. YouTube Studio, pop out chat, select live. Hold on. YouTube Studio. Pop out chat, pop out chat, pop out chat. What the heck? Click here. I'm not seeing where pop out chat is. I'm in YouTube Studio. Comments, content. Well, let's play. We'll do it during sideboarding. How's that? So, for a moment, I won't be able to chat with y'all, but forgive me for a bit here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 7 mana. If we had an Infernal Tutor, this would be a turn 1 Ad Nauseam. However, still a very powerful hand. Certainly keeping. We're going to play a turn 1 Wishclaw. Is what we're going to do. There's nothing really that... we have the benefit of being on the play here, so I'm not going to blind name that even if I hit the best possible card, it's just not worth doing. So we'll get the Wishclaw Talisman out there. And we'll pass the turn. You could Dark Ritual and play them both. There's not much advantage to doing that. It's kind of the same thing as just not doing it. Except we don't use Storm. 3 dots on the chat window. 3 dots on the chat window. Alright, we're going to F6 because they know what's going on. We know what's going on. 3 dots. Comment, subtitles, copyright earned, customization, creator, music. Oh wait, manage. I think I see it. Okay, okay. Pop out chat. All right, all right. Give me 1 second. We're doing it. I apologize. I promise over time these slight hiccups will reduce in both frequency and severity as we go. I'm not as familiar with the YouTube layout as far as streaming goes, but now I can see the chat. Let me just tell Harry here. Harry Hackett is the opponent's name. Sorry, live YouTube streaming for TS. All right. Didn't want to be rude. Ooh, all right. So we're just in there. There's not really much reason to play the Wishclaw Talisman. The best thing it can do here is spin itself into mana neutral Lion's Eye Diamond, which sure it gives you Storm, but you're just giving them a Wishclaw Talisman. So in the event that you do somehow, as I almost just played it. Actually, I guess so we have 3, 4. Is this true? We have 3, 4, 7, 8. In the event that we had enough to play Wishclaw and get and cast Ad Nauseam, that is something. That has merit. So that would take 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have 3, 4, 7. We have 8. It would leave us without a land drop and no mana floating, however. But honestly, having the Wishclaw Talisman on board already definitely has some upside. It means we won't have to find... If we just like hit all mana, it's fine. So let's get it out there. Let's make a black. Let's make some more black. Let's go get Ad Nauseam. We're going to Ad Nauseam from 20. You'll notice, say we were up against the blue deck, we would be able to name Force of Will, so we would have had a protected turn 2 Ad Nauseam, which is very powerful, right? All right, let's pop this out so y'all can see. We hit a tutor. Sorry, streaming. Come see my hand while we play. No, Harry's not gonna do that. All right, so I think we've already won the game, but Harry knows what's going on with our deck, so we don't have to consider like, oh, what if you show him? And you can't die. We already flipped our 4, so the most would be 2, and we just hit it. So let's say no, and let's just kill our opponent. How's that? Let's just cast some spells and kill the opponent. Yeah, Harry's good people. No, I know. I'm sure you were kind of joking, right? It didn't seem aggressive. They could, I suppose, have Solitude. Let's go get a Dark Ritual. And we'll cast that one. And then we might as well Duress. Yep, a couple of Green Sun Zeniths. That's what I would have named if I cast Cabal Therapy. Funny enough, we would have hit multiple, but it doesn't really matter. Because they are dead. They are dead. What's up, Mark Strassman? Here you are. You get to see your good friend Harry get wrecked. As we just get destroyed by sideboard cards. Okay, my phone is buzzing. I do apologize. I'm gonna throw my phone over there. So that there are no interruptions. Just live stream things. Okay, so we want to be able to kill Collector Roof, which is why we have these cards. Fatal Pushes, Feed the Swarm. Again, this is not to be left as a Burning Wish target. It is purely incidental that you can get it by way of Burning Wish. Excuse me. All right. There's no chalices. We don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to play Shadow Spear because honestly, we're not looking to bring the game to that point. If we're at the point where Shadow Spear would typically be good, we're probably at the point where we're not winning. So I'm not going to set myself up for the losing scenario. I'm going to play to the scenario that would have us winning. Haywire Might, yes. For Deafening Silence, yes, Collector Roof can stop it, but you do want access to it through your Saga so that you can do something such as kill your Oof and then unlock as well. So we can get out of multiple hate pieces. We don't need Surgicals, and the rest are really meant for Burning Wish. So we need to remove 5 cards. That typically means discard, especially on the draw. So I'm comfortable with... You do want a certain amount of discard. So I'm always taking out at least 4. And then you can take another out if you'd like. Or, I mean, Chromox is not the greatest against something like Force of Vigor. You could trim Bobble if you wanted. So I think there's like kind of a 2-3 card preference buffer, if you want to call it, that are just reasonable things to do. Phone is buzzing, palms are sweaty, stains on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti. What is the strength of Feed the Swarm? It seems very expensive at 2 mana. Well, the strength is you have a card that can remove flexibly with a different card name, different mana cost, and different card type. Those are things that are very important that a number of cards do care about. In addition, it kills Deafening Silence, so that we have multiple cards that kill Deafening Silence. This hand is, I want to say, just barely good enough. It's not great, but I'm going to keep it. So it's flexible. Again, the incidental nature of being able to get it with Burning Wish does come up, not often, but there's a Deafening Silence. So I'm only willing to, you know, have a Burning Wish target for removal if it incidentally can be gotten. In other words, even if it were, say it were an instant, I would likely still be playing it. Yes, I mean, we're playing a land, and we're definitely thought seizing. Is that definite? Yeah. There's a chance that we can get through 1 hate piece. 2 would be very tough. This is a solid hand. Definitely a solid hand. We have... The problem with taking Sylvan Library is then we have to deal with Collect Roof, so I think we just have to cut off Collect Roof. As damaging as Sylvan Library is, really we just want to find a Saga so that we can wind up with Haywire Might, or just the Haywire Might, or, of course, the Feed the Swarm. Just making a joke, though. It actually does not clean up a Scoot Swarm. Oh, what? A Scoot Swarm? I don't know what that is. Okay, so they played Heath and Sylvan Library. Swamp is good. We wanted a land drop, and now even through a wasteland we're going to have a black source, so that's good. I think we're just digging here, and this is going to give us better information. So again, we can only cast 1 spell a turn. That's a good card for them. Not great for us. Dig, dig, dig. Let's go. So we have a lot we need to find. If we draw Ad Nauseam, we might be able to slowly deploy permanent mana sources and be able to cast it. But our outs are Sagas, Feed the Swarm, and Haywire Might. I think... So Haywire Might's going to be our best draw. I think that's kind of obvious, because we can actually play and activate it. As it's a creature, so we can play it in addition to our Opal, and then we'll have Metalcraft, so we'll have green. There's the Liberator. I'm sure they're going to play a land. Oh, Cradle. Oh, just right off the rip. Okay. Interesting play. Reasonable. Not what we wanted to see. I'm gonna bobble. That gets us towards Saga quicker. We probably would have to draw it now, and it's still a chance that it's too slow. Thoughtseize. Okay. Let me ask you, is the audio much better than last week? I have since put my microphone on one of those arms so that it is right in my face and fiddled with some of the settings. So hopefully we have clearer, much better. Great. Perfect. That was, they played 3 spells. Yeah, I think this one is pretty much over. So we know about, I think they just have another knight in hand, which I guess... I think we just play one of these. I don't know about last week, but you sound nice and sensual. Really that much Chalice decks around to play 2 Surge on the sideboard. I hardly faced Chalices recently and way more Wastelands, so still playing Needle. The problem with Wasteland is the problem with Needle is it's not particularly good against Wasteland just as a one-of, right? Because as a one-of, you're assuming that you're going to take advantage of it through the use of Urza Saga, and there's a pretty clear problem with that when the card that you're trying to get through Urza Saga is a card that blows up Urza Saga before it goes to fruition. So, and then by the time it's really strong in your opener, but if you're only playing one, it's dicey. It was kind of a gamble for a while that I was making, and it's not as though it's never good past your opener. It's just kind of inconsistent and not exactly what I'm looking for. However, Chalice is that damaging. And sure, its frequency goes up and down. You can make a meta call and not play 2, but it's a very damaging thing for the deck. It's very difficult to remove, and okay, we can definitely wrap it up at this point. We might as well Thoughtseize. I think they just have another knight, right? Yeah. But yeah. Just always draw it. Yeah, this is pretty easy. Just draw it. Just draw it, you dummy. I'm gonna adjust my chair. Okay, so you could play a little more discard now that we're on the play. Especially since we've seen Deafening Silence, although let's be honest, we know Deafening Silence is there. I could see playing another Duress over a Bauble. I don't want to get too crazy, though. We do need our deck to function. Yeah, this hand is actually great. Very good. The only way this hand, or not the only way, but one of the unlikely ways that this hand could fall to my opponent's demise would be in the event that they did not have Deafening Silence in hand, but wind up drawing into it. They have mulled to 4. Harry is an opponent that knows what he needs in this matchup, and to be quite frank, it's actually terrifying when your opponent mulls to 4, because for one thing, they reveal that they know what's up and know what to do. And if they've gone to 4 and not went to 3, that means they did find what they were looking for. If your opponent goes to 2, you might have a chance that they didn't find it. But if they go to 4, that means they're willing to go to 3 if they don't find it, right? You don't just stop at 4. Or at least I wouldn't. If I've gone to 4 and haven't found the lock piece, your odds are much lower than just going to 3 and finding it and looking for it. It really is. So that's a Thoughtseize, an unplayable Hierarch, and a not yet playable opposition agent. I think we can get under this agent, plus we do have Fatal Push that we can't currently turn on, but we can create a scenario in which we could. If they draw Deafening Silence, that's the Probably the worst thing that could happen here. Do I want to play Lines of Diamond out? There's not really a way to get, well, I guess Force of Vigor. Thoughtseize could get us. I think I'm gonna play into Force of Vigor and around Thoughtseize because Thoughtseize is they probably have 4 Thoughtseize. I don't think they're gonna have 4 Force of Vigor plus Force of Vigor. They're gonna have to at least pay 2 cards to do it. Oh man, so we're just in. We're just in there. I'm going to play Lion's Eye Diamond first. So in the event that they did draw Force of Vigor, right, they probably would have just hit the Lion's Eye Diamond in our upkeep. But let's say they could reasonably say, you know what, I need more. If I'm going to be on such low resources, I need to get more. So you want to play Lion's Eye Diamond first, because if you play Wishclaw first, then in response to your Lion's Eye Diamond, they blow up Wishclaw. Now you have to activate it, and now you haven't used your LED, and you can't actually cast Ad Nauseam. Whereas if we do it this way, we could always respond by just cracking both LEDs. So now we're just going to go in. Get them with another turn 2. Now, it's not deterministic. It is possible to fail from this point, right? But it's very unlikely. And in the event that you do, we'll probably wind up just passing with a very strong hand that's going to win anyways. But it looks like we've won the game. Dark Ritual. Push. Ritual. Pedal. Opal. Duress. Okay, we can stop there. Okay, they're off it. All right. Good game, Terry. Sorry for the bad matchup. So we are off to a nice start here. We are 1-0. All right, so while we're waiting, check out these token packs.
Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game.
All right. Oh, let me change the... where the heck is it? The record. Oh, give me one moment. I guess I have an alarm going off. So sorry about that. Okay, so we are 1-0. Sweet. Opponent says, yo, I've just started watching your channel. Cool stuff, man. Hey, thanks. Just saying good luck. Thank you for the support. And we have won the die roll again, so that's great. Ooh, these are tough. So the power level is through the roof, right? We have a ton of mana. If we hit any tutor, we are just in there. So what I'm going to keep this because it has 3 things, right? 4 things, actually. It has a ton of mana. Explosive, ton of mana. It has our plan B in Urza Saga, right? We have discard, and we technically have action with Bobble. Now, 2 of those 4 things are a little bit dicey. Wild Therapy, obviously not the greatest. We do, however, have a Bobble, so we can get some info. If it hits something that we do want to discard, that would be nice, or at least it may reveal enough that we know what our opponent is doing, or at least enough that we can reasonably hit something, right? If Bobble hits Tundra, now we can name Brainstorm or Force of Will or, whatever. But also the action is a little bit dicey, so it's, it's right on the line, but you can't really throw this back. So let's Bobble. Sampras Scary. Oh no, this matchup is rough. So I think we just need to name Karn. We could also name Force of Will, but I'm going to play to what's in my hand rather than what I may draw. And they're now F6. So I'm going to name the card that we would lose to. Oh. It's this deck. So, wow, this is a really bad hand too. I mean, they went to 5, so it's like, what are you going to do? But, okay. I would like to just find action so I can kill them. That would be nice. I'm so, like, still not used to this deck where I see Scary and I just immediately think Karn Echoes. Like, it confirms it for me, but I need to get out of that heuristic. It is discard proof, yeah. Alright, we have a lot of artifacts, so I think this closes the game before Sakashima's protege. But we'll see. I already... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I not? Yeah, because we saw... Oh, right, the Bobble. So that is gone. Oh, I missed this. You sound smooth as butter. Thanks, Dominic. Tell my opponent you can check this match out on the TES YouTube channel afterwards, as I am recording for them now. So, interestingly enough, they played an untapped land? Why would you do that? What's the cast spell? You'll die. I was Goldfish and going with the Beseech. I honestly have not been working on Beseech all that much. I'm still doing a lot of brewing with PO. I feel like we're in trouble here. So we just have to get a Bobble, right? So we already have enough mana. Oh, we can Cabal Therapy. Doi. God, I haven't played this deck in a while. You dummy. So let's attack first. Has chat said it yet? No one's yelled at me yet? Here I am saying like, oh, we're in trouble, and we can just discard. I would assume they have some other piece of action as well, so it's probably not going to be as simple as that. It does also make it so it takes 2 hits to kill them. But we are going to die if they play this. So I think we're priced into it. Oh wait, let's bobble. Yeah, let's bobble. Massage you. Okay. I mean, I am gonna Cabal Therapy. If there was like another, you know, Cascade spell that was castable, I don't think I would have. Takashima's Protege. Dismiss. Okay. So we're going to be good. They're going to blow up our thing. And there it is. Okay, so there's the tutor. So now we can just close the door. So we're going to blow up the construct. We're going to get a swamp. And then we're going to kill him. They do have the untapped soul land. Oh, they don't have green. Yep. Yeah, even if they did, it really wouldn't matter. And now we just have deterministic lethal. Oh. Or just Ad Nauseam shows up. So we can play Ancient Tomb, make a construct, play Wishclaw. That makes this a 7/7, puts them to 6, and then we can Tutor Chain. 2, 4, 2. No, we can't Tutor Chain. So we don't make a construct. Instead, we play Volta Whispers. That gives us the artifact sufficient to deal 7, putting them to 6. Then we play Wishclaw. Then we have 1, 2, 8. Activate is 7. Tutor is 5. Tendrils. So that'll be 1, 2, 3. So that'll be Xaxes. I would not hardcast the Naz. I would see if we have lethal first, right? Oh, they have Otawara. Right. Well, now I just took myself off of Ad Nauseam. So 6, 7, 10. We're too shy of, what's it called? Oh, they take 2 life. Tapping for Otawara. I did screw up. Definitely screwed up here. Alright, let's play Wishclaw. They're going to Otawara the token. If not, then they are dead. But this was incorrect. You're right, Jordan. I should have cast Ad Nauseam. I was just totally forgetting about Otawara. So the only real action option right now is Echo Veons by way of Burning Wish, which is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 3 mana post Echo, but it gives them a whole new hand. Whereas we can just hope they don't draw one thing. Ugh. Yeah, misplayed pretty bad. I mean, Echo's pretty likely to get there, but we're definitely dead. I think I'd rather just put them on 1 draw. This is a shame. If they get it here, they deserve it. Because I punted. They're probably really confused as to why we're not killing them with a active Wishclaw and 8 mana on board. Right, they played Boseiju. Alright. Looks like we're in the clear. Let's tap this. Go get another Lion's Eye Diamond. And a Thoughtseize. Just build up some Storm. They drew Maelstrom Wanderer. Two, three, four, five. So now we can peer. Is it better than just Ad Nauseam with a Wishclaw on board? I don't think so. So let's do that. I'm going to hold priority. I'm going to use 2 of these. Make black and red. And off we go. Infernal Tutor, Thoughtseize, Ritual, LED, Tendrils. 2 is the highest CMC. So we can keep going, keep going. Alright. That's good enough. And now we kill the opponent. Duress. Because why not? Because it doesn't do anything, Tony. That's why not, you dummy. But I wanna. Cast the spells. Can we get to 10? We don't need to, but I would like to. So I'm going to. Alright, you can't stop me. I already did it. Already did it, okay? I'm sorry, viewer. You're not the boss of me. I'm sorry for the shifting noises. Okay, so this deck, honestly, I think our deck is pretty much already a recipe to just kill them. The discard's a problem for them. The fast wins are a problem for them. They do board into Force of Vigor. Surge Node doesn't do anything. We're not going to be killing small stuff. We need those for... I don't think Surgical's good enough. I mean, maybe. Discard plus Surgical actually sounds pretty good. We don't need Surge Node. I don't think Shadow Spear is necessary. Neither is Haywire Might or Map. So it's just a question of, do we want Surgical? I mean, like, you can hit Creative Technique and then Surgical it, but they're going to have, what is it, Throes of Chaos or Woes of whatever the heck it is, which just has Retrace, and they can do that. Oh, I got to somehow change that. So that is a YouTube, you know, notification that is set within OBS that should not be, so I do apologize for that. I don't even want it on mine. But OBS can be finicky. Okay, so we have turn 1 double Wishclaw is pretty good. I'm actually just going to keep this. There's also a lot of draws that just make it even, like, really good. Force of Vigor is very good against this. But Force of Vigor is just generally a pretty good card against us. But my plan is to cast Ritual, because of course we have an artifact lamp that allows us to cast Wishclaw Talisman, which then turns our Mox Opal on, which then allows us, of course, to cast the other Wishclaw Talisman. So we'll wind up with 2 mana, 2 Wishclaws. Wishclaw on board is as good as 2 mana, because it can get Lines of Diamond. So, and this is another reason why we do have Feed the Swarm, because now we still, despite not having boarded anything in, we still have an out to this card. And now they're on a mulligan to 3. All for a card that really doesn't matter all that much. Like, are there spots where we're unable to develop into a win plus get rid of your ley line. Sure, it makes it more difficult, but not much. In fact, at this point, their hand is so slow. Do we really want to burn Ritual? We'll wind up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to have enough mana next turn, even without the Ritual. So let's go. Enough mana to Ad Naus, that is. And this is ignoring our draw step, right? What is this? Oh, they just have it. Wow. That's crazy. I don't, like, why don't they just play this card instead? In fact, I played against the version of this deck that was running Shardless Agent, and it was just the same deck, except they did it on 3. Like, they did the same stuff, but on 3. They're going to let us demonstrate. Probably a good call. It's not like we can discard them. I guess I'll cast it. Higher rate of fizzle? Fizzle? Fizzle. I guess I'll get another swamp. What's up, Jack? They had boarding party. I think we're pretty much dead. Tybalt's Trickery. It's another boarding party. Here comes Creative Technique. They already have 12 power. We're very close to dead. So I will be bringing in the Haywire Might and the Feed the Swarm. Do we do both? Maybe just Haywire Might. I'm not sure if Feed the Swarm is necessary. You're just going to have haste, 12, 19. That's... Yep. They got us. Alright, let's look. Couple of Emrakuls, Besejus, Otawaras. I'm not seeing any Force of Vigor. Seems like they're just on Leyline, basically, is the only, like, sideboard card here. So, I do think I'll play Haywire Might in favor of maybe one of the discard spells. Yeah. Sideboard Force of Despair. I can keep this. We have no way to activate Haywire Might yet, but we are working towards a pretty fast Ad Nauseam, and it's not as though they're always going to have Leyline of Sanctity. However, they seem very willing to mulligan down to it. The thing is, if they mull down and miss, that's rough. Because now they're mulling and getting discarded. Down to 4. They kept, and they don't have it. See? Let's go Vault and Thoughtseize. Take your creative technique. I don't believe it's currently worth playing out this Haywire Mite. I don't want to imprint either of these. But it's nice to know that if I draw another Infernal Tutor or discard spell that I don't want, I'll have a mana instead. So they played Hickory Woodlot. Let's put this to the side, draw a card. LED? That's not bad. Not bad at all. Let's play City. We can copy Dark Ritual, imprint one of the Dark Rituals, play Wish Claw. We'll wind up with 4, enough mana. Or we can play Haywire Mite, imprint Ritual, play Wish Claw. Then we'll have 4 mana on board. IT will wind up being 5 if we wound up Hellbent, so that's not as good. So let's go get a Ritual. Print one of them, play Wish Claw. Pass it over. This is green only. So we don't want to see Viseju. Looks like we're in the clear. Let's go Mox Opal. Dark Ritual. Still have Metalcraft. Post Wishclaw activation. And we'll cast Ad Nauseam. LED is a good start. So is Petal, and so is Infernal Tutor. Alright. It's looking good. As you can see, this deck is very efficient with its Ad Nauseam resolutions. Just, you know, like I think we had a win only using like 3 life or something. Or, yeah. 3 life got us LED, 2 LEDs, 2 petals, Infernal Tutor, and Opal. Just wild. Absolutely wild. Alright, let's stop because we could hit Ad Nauseam, or Tendrils at this point. Okay. They got us. So in a spot like that, well, against this deck, you don't have to worry about it. But let's say you're playing against a deck that could feasibly have surgicals. You do want to be aware of what's in your graveyard. So say your pile really needed Infernal Tutor, or say it really, because that you can't really stop, but while you're looking at your Ad Naus, okay, we have Infernal Tutor here, right? So if they had Surgical, which this deck won't, but just as an exercise, if they had Surgical, you want to be looking at your Ad Naus pile saying, well, I should find, if I can, I'm going to find a Wishclaw Talisman win. So that in the event that they have Surgical, you know, I'm not going to stop at 10 life with a win based on Infernal Tutor. Just as an example of something maybe to watch out for when you're Ad Nausing and it feels like you've just won, right? You want to try to figure out how could I lose and how can I prevent that? Okay, so quick word from one of our sponsors here, Moxfield, and we'll be back.
Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks.
Okay, and I do want to thank our sponsor, Moxfield, of course. I admittedly have not started in any serious basis using Moxfield. Initially, that was because they were not linked up with Twitch. But say you're a streamer, you're streaming, and the reason you don't use Moxfield is for the same reason I wasn't. They are now linked up to Twitch, so you can use them in an advantageous way for your Twitch stream, which is really nice, which will have me switching to it in time, because it really sounds like it's just more flexible and how do I describe it? It's just better. You know, everyone sings its praises, so though it may be an appeal to authority, I'm going to trust the individuals who are really digging it. So thank you to them. We have our third round opponent. Oh, I got to change the record. We have won again. Imagine that. We are 2-0. Winning. So we've lost the die roll. Oh no. If we can find a black source, this is going to be an Ad Nauseam. I'm going to keep this. It's a weird hand for sure. But just this pair of cards is very powerful. Or not pair, but bunch of cards, whatever you want. Okay, so we're really just hoping to rip a petal or opal here so we can turn one this Ad Nauseam. This game is so easy. Oh my god. People talk about Magic and how hard it is. But are you seeing this? I disagree. I disagree that it's hard. Alright. It's an easy game. From 20. We're going to hold... Oops. We're going to tap this. We're going to hold control. Am I going to use LED? I'd rather have the 3 black here than LED on board. This is a wildly difficult or powerful hand. Dark Ritual, not bad, not bad. Okay, pretty good cards. Plenty of mana and a tutor and a tendrils. If you were wondering, I can confirm for you that the opponent is dead. They're dead. They're very dead. I mean, they know. You can, think like, well, when should I stop to not give up more information? The deck is just so public that it's not something that I consider really. Do you wish to repeat this? No, I think we're good. I think we got there. Let's see if they'll let us look at some more stuff. They will. Touch, Cauldra, Wasteland, Samwise, Spirit on top. Interesting. Okay. Play some more spells. Play some more spells. Get to have the fun. All the fun. Play the rituals. I just want to get up to 20, okay? Just let me get up to 20. Nice little turn 1. So easy. This game is incredibly easy. Okay. So, D&T. We want Shadow Spear, Haywire Might, Expedition Map, and we want our removal. We are ditching Cabal Therapy and Duress. We can also trim your choice of Bauble or Chromox. I'm just going to trim a bobble. Call it a day. Now, oftentimes in this matchup, they're so worried about having their disruptive creature that they don't wind up with the resources to stop our Saga plan. I beat up on D&T frequently with Sagas. They're just way too big for them to deal with. Granted, they have cards that deal with Saga, but again, they have to be able to deal with a very fast Ad Nauseam plan, so they need to keep highly disruptive hands, and oftentimes that means just not having the resources to be able to deal with Saga, on top of the fact that we do have a lot of stuff to interact with their problems. So I think we have a varied arsenal to disrupt the problems that they present, and I think the problems that we present are a lot more damning than what they can present. In short, not the greatest matchup for them. Having said that, now that I've said that, we're bound to just get destroyed. The Jinx. Okay, so they've mulliganed. We are keeping. Do you think Besiege will go into BSS or a different deck? It will 100% be in Black Saga Storm. Likely just as a one-of, but we are going to try to cram it into... It could also just warp Black Saga Storm into a different deck. However, I don't think this is the shell that Beseech is going to... There will be a standalone Beseech deck, in my opinion. That's how I feel. With 4 Beseech, the card is obviously broken. How broken? We'll see, right? It could just be like regular broken, like the way Relay is, or Echo, or Ad Nauseam. Very powerful cards, but well within the okay, we didn't break the game space. But we'll see. It very well could be. Like, the card is obviously strong enough that it is entirely possible that we just have another Breach situation. Remember when Breach came out? Everyone looked at it like, some people are saying, oh, it's just a Yogg-Will that's better, and then most people were saying, like, come on, no it isn't. It's like, yeah, no, that's it's too good. Way too good. That was a miserable area of Legacy. Okay, so they have a Wasteland. They have 2 cards in hand. They mulligan to 3, mind you. We're going to take a peek. A little peeky poo. Spirit. Okay. Well, it's good to know. I was almost considering imprinting Ad Nauseam, playing Wishclaw, and just going for a pure plan. I think I'm fine with just playing Ancient Tomb. And I guess I'm playing out the Lion's Eye Diamond. People just started playing Breach and Delver. It's just in everything. Yeah, but the actual dedicated Breach deck was gross. I didn't even get to play with it. I was playing against it. Alright, so they wastelanded us, as expected. I'm going to put the vault out there. I'm going to continue to not imprint Ad Nauseam. I was kind of hoping for a card that we could imprint, so I could play Wishclaw. Ugh. Okay, well, we do have answers for that. Ugh, that would have got him. Okay. We have direct answers to that, as well as just, constructs. So if they don't have a wasteland here, they're in trouble. Yeah, Jeskai Breach was absolutely disgusting. Oh, they have Thalia. That's fine. Don't care about that. Nice Thalia. Alright, so now we can go Chromox. Imprint. next turn we can blow up Deafening Silence. Weathered Wayfarer, really? I think it's any land, yep. I do have more lands. Although we're gonna lose the Saga, that's funny. Awkwardly good for us. So interesting spot here. So we can just get Haywire Might. Oh man, I think we have a really cool play here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're one shy. If we get Haywire Might, I can't cast this Ad Nauseam. I would have loved to have been able to get Haywire Might, cast the Ad Nauseam, holding priority, sacking LED for green, and using it. So what I can do, however, tap it for mana, get Haywire Might, play Opal, activate Opal. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can Dark Ritual off of Wishclaw. Oh no, there's Thalia. I'm forgetting about Thalia. Okay, so I think I just make tokens. It's fine. Yeah. I might even cast... Oh no, I can't cast Thoughtseize in that case. I can even just go for Shadow Spear. But I can't equip it yet. No, Haywire Might's got to be correct. Just beating down with an 8/8. And now Wayfarer isn't even turned on. So good. Yep. Value me into 1 to 2 more sagas. I don't think we're not gonna do that. But they're gonna wind up having to block with Thalia at some point, and then we'll just have a tutor chain into tendrils with a Thoughtseize in it. Okay, now we can Thoughtseize their Cauldra that they're about to get. Classic. So I should make them block first. Remember that time I said constructs just beat them up because they have to hold on to and mulligan for disruptive pieces? Because honestly, if they didn't do that, they would have died. But now they just die to these. Alright, now Thalia's gone. Honestly, I think it's just worth killing this. Play Bobble. Thoughtseize you. We might just have lethal. Take Cauldra. Play Wish Claw. 3, 4, 5. So be 4, 5. We can put them to 1. Yeah, there's no reason to do that. I should bobble now because they're going to be playing a spirit. Fatal Push, pretty good. Yeah, I found this matchup to be very close to unlosable. Like, it is very difficult for them. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, and I am indeed not mistaken, we are currently 3-0. Coming right up to that trophy. Alrighty, I will see you in round 4. Now, word from one of our sponsors here, Card Hoarder.
With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist.
So I have a soft spot for Card Hoarder. Even when I really didn't have, when my Twitch was not as big as it is now, they were willing to sponsor me. So they are definitely a supporter of small streamers, which is awesome. So basically I have a certain limit where I can just rent cards for free, which allows me to do dono decks without having to go out and buy a bunch of cards and then sell them back, or just force me to buy and own a bunch of cards that I don't want. I can just rent them. So they're awesome. This hand has problems. Problems that I'm not sure I'm willing to roll with here. It is kind of steady. Could wind up with like some sort of natural tendrils kill. But more likely this Infernal Tutor is just going to wind up like permanently awkward. Maybe it's just reasonable enough to keep though. Call me greedy, but I want to mulligan this. And so I will. I would actually just rather have this hand. We'll just bottom tendrils. Saga Tomb redraws with a tutor. Sign me up. We have our plan B and Saga working towards LED, so we are, as it stands with our hand, racing towards both of our plans. Obviously, it's not perfect. It's soft against Wasteland. Kind of. Depending on what we draw and what kind of Wasteland deck they are. Looks like a blue deck. Most likely. And I'm going to lead on Saga. That's a good draw. Actually, I think first things first, I'm just going to bobble. Ponder. I am going to use this because I'm not going to, if you wait till their upkeep, you walk into Bowmasters, it's reasonably likely they're going to wind up fetching, but I'm not going to go to the end step to, ooh, Ancient Tomb. Okay, so likely show and tell. Which, I mean, generally speaking, very good matchup for us, but we're on the draw and we don't have any discard. We are redrawing, and this is one of the reasons we play 10 discard spells, so that we can reliably draw into them. We have not yet. Cantrip is acceptable. No shuffle. Uh-oh. Alright, they're not going in. Still no discard. Yeah, I think I want to get my stuff out there. I'm going to Infernal Tutor. I'm going to play Lotus Petal. I'm going to, I think, use my Petal to cast Wishclaw Talisman. And then just hold up my Saga activation. Alright, this is what I got. If they go sneak attack, activate, that's going to be probably GG. They're going to show and tell a sneak attack and then activate it. That's pretty bad too. Ooh, that's also pretty decent. Okay. Shuffle. 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 No shuffle. Atraxa. It's pretty good. Pretty good one. That's gonna give them Archon, another Atraxa, or either or, rather. Could play Veil of Summer. I think I've seen enough. Yep. Alright, they're playing main deck Veils, which is not cool. I'm gonna play Haywire Might. Leave Feed the Swarm in the board. We'll play Surgical. And let's trim a couple baubles. I do want my discard. Maybe no, I want the discard. I know they have Veil, but we have to get through it, especially because we're on the play. We want to open with, and of course they could play Ley Lines. Oftentimes they do. But you can't just take the discard out of the deck. Or I think it would be ill-advised to do so. I'll put it that way. Let's open with Duress. Magus of the Moon. So I want them to ponder so that I can Cabal Therapy Brainstorm next turn. I'll take Force of Will. They might just hold open Brainstorm, which, you know, it's definitely awkward to have to end step a Brainstorm, but they're more likely just going to ponder here, right? Oh, they're just going to straight up Brainstorm now. Interesting. Now I think I name Ponder. And surely they hide the show and tell. We'll see what we draw here. Ugh, it's a bad draw. You could also just Wishclaw. Or copy Dark Ritual. Let's play Wishclaw. That was a really bad draw. Another Ponder. They're probably shuffling Magus away. But maybe not. No shuffle. Alright. They still have Brainstorm available. We have 2, 4, 6. We could go for it and assume they have nothing, which I don't think that's ill-advised. Just not sure if I want to Cabal Therapy yet. I do want. I'm copying Dark Ritual, that's for sure. I just do that and pass. 2/4. That'll give us 8 mana next turn. I feel like they have Veil. If they don't Veil, probably gonna cast Brainstorm. At least that makes them use it. I'm just going to cast IT. I think we are very, we're not favored here. We're likely behind. Collector, oof. What? This I did not see coming. Ho 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 ho! Hello! Right on time. You gonna Veil? So they do have it. That's interesting. Am I still priced into Ad Nauseam is the question. What am I trying to accomplish with the Ad Nauseam? I know they have access to Magus, so drawing into sagas are not good. We're not playing a way to get around Veil currently. It's possible we should. We can potentially kill Collector Roof, but again, active Veil is a problem. Don't want to let them cantrip more. Yeah, I do think we have to Ad Naus here. Just into a better hand. Okay. Okay. Little Thoughtseize, Opal, Duress, Tomb, Wishclaw, Vault, Chrome Mox, Ritual. I want rituals. Discard spells. I don't think it's possible for us to get up to 10 spells next turn, because we can't use our baubles. We can't actually kill Collector Roof without having boarded anything in, because we can't make red with the Collector Roof on board, so we can't get to feed the swarm. So we want like discard spells and Saga. We definitely want Saga. Like, I don't think we can win without. Okay, so that's something. Wish Claws are not good. Opal, Vault, Surgical. Come on, man. We need Saga. So we're going to be able to play Haywire Might, which can block, and then we gain 2. Oh, we need to also be able to... We need to hit Saga. We just didn't. Alright. I'm going to say no. I mean, we might be able to tendrils them next turn. So let's go... Do we have a land that does anything? Not really. I guess I play Ancient Tomb. In case we wind up with a mini tendrils and then make use of this mana. Or do we just want more artifacts? I don't think it matters too much. Both lands are horrendous in this spot. Let's play Haywire Might. Okay, so what do we want our hand to wind up looking like? We want tendrils. So we want tendrils, ritual. I don't mind surgical. Maybe in multiples. And I think or discard as well. Maybe I was supposed to stop earlier so that I could use surgical on like Veil or something. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just some 0 drops, I think. IT is not going to help. Another surgical is excessive. We can play, if we can cast Dark Ritual. We need another black source or mana source. We need another Dark Ritual. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sure. Oops, we're going. Go to discard. Maybe I just want more. Some discard. That means I should have played the zeros. Sorry. Oops. I don't think it's really going to matter, though. I think we're just dead. At this point, it would actually be good if they played Magus. Oh, I should have kept the Burning Wish, because if they play Magus, we could make red. Oh! Damn. I didn't think of that, obviously. Brainstorm. So they attack, we block, we go to 3. We really need to hit like City of Traders or Swamp or Saga. Can't hit Grape Shot. No, I don't have Grape Shot. Not currently playing Grape Shot. Gain 2. They're down to 4 cards. Battle. Okay, so we can tap one of our Ancient Tombs now, so that's good. So we have some game here. Let's go ritual. Oof. Brutal. Okay. So now we pretty much have to draw a ritual, of which we have one in the deck. It's assuming we don't die right now. They can't use their pedal. Nice sneak attack. Yep, now they just do it like this. That's fine. Now we're dead. Is it gonna be a Magus? It is. That's funny. Alright, they got us. We've fallen to 3-1. That's tough. That's a pretty good matchup. Although they are doing things that, like, Veil is definitely a beating. I'd really have to dig in and see if there's enough Veil out there to be playing something like either Grape Shot or Cut the Ribbons or whatever it's called. But no big deal. 3-1. Let's try to get that 4-1. And hit you with a quick ad, and then we'll come back to it. Oop, I was muted, sorry. Wrong thing.
Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm.
All right, the final match. Going for that 4-1. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Gonna change the record. Participants. How do I get to see who's in the chat? Error occurred. Okay. Maybe someone like backed out right as it tried to go into a match. Do you know, Jordan? How do I see who's in the chat? I have no idea. I can start a poll. Still learning some of this stuff. All right, I can see the viewers. I can't see who. Some chat settings to show username, show icon. Yeah, we can. We'll check it out afterwards, I guess. You can show me. All right, so we are 3-1. I mean, definitely smooth sailing. As you can see, this is a fine-tuned or well-oiled machine. So in the event that our opponent is tripping up in the slightest, we tend to just punish them. But it's not always perfect, and Show and Tell is doing powerful things. We go turn 1 Wish Claw, double redraw with an IT in hand. I'll entertain it. I'm not in love, but there's no world where I'm not doing this, so I'm not even gonna bother bobbling. Bobble. See what we're getting into here. Ew. Gross. 8 cast, okay. 8 cast, and they have a chalice. Let's see if they see just how, or know just how important chalice on 0 is. Tomb and another IT, yeah. See the Synod. Bobble. Bobble. Pedal. But imagine they're going to go Emery and then Chalice on 0. If they go Chalice on 1, we're in business. Or at least it's better. If they have another Chalice, we're in trouble. But they really prioritize the Chalice on 1 there, which I like. That's what usually gives us a chance. Like, they blew their pedal, opted out of Emery to play a worse version of a card that they had access to. I'm going to play out my Chrome Mox before they draw another Chalice and wise up. So there is the problem, however, that Chalice on 1 does stop our discard, so we're probably going to wind up in a spot where we have to go for it and hope they don't have force, which is admittedly dicey. They've kept their baubles, which tells me they have a Thoughtcast or a Thought Monitor in hand. And they did. Emery coming in hot. So I do want to mention again that this is not the only place that I do put out content. I do have my own Twitch and YouTube. In fact, this experience is really getting me in the streaming mood. So I think I'm going to stream after this. I think I am. So we do have an Ad Nauseam, and we just got to hope that they don't have it. As Infernal Tutor, you can always consider, not always, but in spots where you can, where it's Demonic Tutor, right? Or in spots where you have Lion's Eye Diamond in hand and have enough mana up front to, where you can afford to do something like Infernal Tutor copy or LED and then do other things. Your Infernal Tutor, in short, is potentially a +1 mana. Because you can go get Lion's Eye Diamond. So we have danced around this Chalice on 1 in hopes that we can 3 for 5, yep. Hopes that we can dodge a Force of Will here. There's certainly a reasonable chance, honestly. Yeah. Because you definitely keep this hand in the blind, and you keep this hand if you know you're playing against me as well. Because Chalice is good. It's definitely good. Do we have a land drop? It's turn 3. We have 3 lands in play. That is a no. Can't play 1-drops. We have a lot of zeros, though. There's a Tendrils. We know they don't have Force. And that's the mana to cast the Tendrils, and plenty of Storm to do it as well. So we've gotten there. You can stop here, but I'm going to opt out of stopping and keep going. I mean, nice chalice. I don't know why they didn't use their baubles. Like, I think they have a thought monitor that they're really trying to get to. Excuse me. Okay, so we got game one. It's very difficult to pull off this match if you lose game one. But we are definitely favored if we win game one, because we can usually pull off one of the sideboard matches or games. I'm not sure that I want map. Yeah, I can't remember the last time. I'm not sure I've played this matchup very little since the change to surgical. I don't think we won it. It's defensible to play removal for Emery, but they just put Chalice on one so often. Like, you could play Feed the Swarm. Again, defensible, but I opt out. I really want my Surge Nodes. I really want Haywire Might, and I do want to be able to hang and bang with Shadow Spear, because sometimes we're able to come out of the gate with large and quick enough constructs where we actually dwarf them on the strategy. So let's maybe trim some discard. I'd have to look at my own sideboard guide, honestly. Again, it's been a bit since I've played this deck. I've been doing a lot of brewing with Paradoxical Outcome. We probably want to reduce some of the zeros. Just trim a Chrome Mox. Yeah, this is fine. I don't mind this. Like, active Saga with a Shadow Spear is fine to me. They might chalice someone, then we can play Shadow Spear, but then we can mess with Chalice as long as we have a Saga. They did mulligan. Are they gonna not bobble again? I'm sure they have some sort of interaction if they don't. Wonder if I should ritual. It's a really interesting question here, whether we just go Saga first. Like, they could have Chalice and still just be prioritizing Chalice on one. It's a thought cast. But I do want to get my Saga going as soon as possible. Yeah. Probably the biggest problem with this is it locks us into not using these next turn either. Get a redraw. Chromox is not bad. Wow, just passing. I was worried about maybe like a pithing needle there. Chromox was actually really good, honestly. Chromox or Opal was actually our best draw. So now we get to go Ancient Tomb. 2 Dark Rituals, very powerful. Yeah, I'm going to imprint one though, because I get to use it right now and next turn, which is +2, just like Dark Ritual, and allows me to duress. See what you got over there. See, they have the Chalice, and now I can just ignore. Honestly, I'm just gonna ignore everything and take Thoughtcast. Yeah. I mean, we didn't really have much zeros, but you're supposed to play this. You're supposed to play your Chalice. In my opinion, I would have played the Chalice and I would have used my Bauble. Now they're going to Chalice on one. It's too late. Also, you just can't really beat this card with this hand. You can't really beat the Sagas with this hand. Or just the constructs in general. Another example of what happens when your deck is so capable of a very potent plan A is your opponent really has to prioritize being able to disrupt that, which opens us up to our B plan. That's why the constructs are so potent. In fact, I find 8-cast to be very, very close to what we're doing. It's a very similar thing where you have a ton of artifacts and a really solid saga plan with the only difference between us and them is obviously the color difference, but we have discard where they have Force of Wills, and then we have a fast threatening a very fast kill, whereas they have a bunch of like disruption and card engines that are a little more slow going. But I'm gonna make more tokens. Tendrils wasn't even particularly bad, right? Yes, we're very good against Chalice. So I think Surge Node will lock that up. We already have Shadow Spear. We're not currently playing Needle, so I can't Needle Emery. Emery's not really getting much anyways. You can get a Bauble. Honestly, I think I just get Haywire Might. It's another body. I don't have a green source. Maybe it's just Surge Node, just in case. If they somehow get out of these constructs, at least I know I don't really care about Chalice. If nothing else, it's going to confuse them. It just might. Might not understand what it's for. All right, let's get in there. Just lock it up, right? Oh, all right. I gotta say, that felt like an easy 4-1. Oops. So quickly, we'll talk about the list, and then we'll wrap it up. So this list is tried and true. It's very similar to what I played in SCG Baltimore, of which I top forward. Not to, I top forward, but the deck is very strong. It's very strong. It's in its fine-tuned stage. It has been worked on for over a year at this point by a lot of people and has a lot of respectable finishes, not just by myself, but also Builder Burn, otherwise known as Preslov, very active in the Storm community, top forward, one of the Four Seasons events. So yeah, I mean, deck is super fun. One of its features is that it brings in people who don't normally play Storm because it has such a, the saga aspect just brings a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of feedback that people who didn't used to play Storm now feel as though they can play it again because of what the deck is doing. So a lot of fun, very potent. Get out there and play it, man. If you look in the description, there'll be a link where you can buy the cards, a link where you can rent them from Card Hoarder. It's pretty easy and cheap to do so. So get out there and get Storm and have some fun. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up here. I do want to thank again our sponsors, Moxfield, Card Hoarder and Eminence Gaming. I know Eminence Gaming is a very convenient tool to help with running tournaments and events. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I want to thank them again, Card Hoarder, Moxfield, and Eminence. And I do want to plug in, of course, my own content. Again, I stream on Twitch. I make YouTube content. I just put out a video this morning. And what I'm going to do, just give you a quick sneak peek, and then we're going to sign off here. I'm just in that streaming mood right now. So I'm actually going to jump right over to my stream on Twitch. Just search TonyScapone, you'll find me. And we're going to be playing what is now, at this point, a well-refined... I will, Jordan, thank you. I appreciate that reminder. Oops, this is not the one. Okay, so instead of playing Mind's Desire and Coveted Jewel and Metamorph, this is a more streamlined version of Mono Blue Paradoxical Outcome that I've actually been having a lot of success with. So I'm really excited for this, and I want to go play it on stream. So if you're hungry for more at this very moment, go check me out on Twitch. Otherwise, have a great rest of the night. I'm going to sign us off on a little ad for, I think, the podcast, for Eternal Glory podcast, I would imagine. And I'll see y'all next week. So I'm going to be here weekly for the Epic Storm, Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. So I hope you enjoyed this, and see y'all next time.
The Best Legacy Podcast? That would be Eternal Glory featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Cobal and Phil Gallagher. We're available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube.